For those not familiar with Ranplan Wireless, what is it that you do?
So Ranplan Wireless is a software company. We've developed a suite of software planning tools. They're planning tools that allow companies like Telenor or equipment vendors like Ericsson to plan in-building wireless networks. Those networks can be Wi-Fi, 4G, and now 5G. So traditionally what we've done is we've relied on coverage from the outdoor network to penetrate into buildings to give you coverage and capacity within a building. However, what's happened over the last few years, there's been an explosion in mobile data, particularly with smartphones. And 80% of that mobile data is actually used indoors. So now, and over the last few years, there's been a huge demand to build in-building wireless networks to support that capacity. Our tool allows these mobile operators and telecommunication equipment vendors to go out, plan those networks, and actually save up to about 30% of the capex when they come to build those networks.
You've just reported your numbers for the third quarter, and year to date in 2018, the first 9 months, you're growing almost 168% compared to the same period last year. Can you just comment on these numbers a little bit?
So we're showing very, very strong growth, but what I'd like to do is put that growth into absolute numbers for you. So for Q3, we delivered revenues of 5.1 million SEK. But if we look at our year-to-date performance, year-to-date 2017 for the first 9 months, we delivered revenues of 6.3 million SEK. And in 2018, year-to-date, we've actually delivered revenues of 16.8 million SEK. Now, I'd also just like to talk about our gross margins. So we're a software company, and year-to-date, we've delivered over 90% gross margin, and that's a significant gross margin. So with this business model, what we're looking to do is to invest further into our sales, further into our development organization to continue to grow the company and capture market share.
And recently you released a new version called 5.2. What's new?
5.2 was a real milestone for our company. So 5.2 basically built 5G capability into our planning tool. So now we can go to mobile operators and equipment vendors and offer them a planning tool that allows them to plan 5G networks. And as you know, at the moment, 5G is a very hot topic, and our belief is that 2019 will be the year when 5G will really start to take off.
Earlier in November, you signed a reseller agreement with Japanese company Marubun. What do you expect from them?
We signed them as a reseller, so they're actually reselling our products into the Japanese market. And if we look at 5G, and we're talking about 5G becoming very, very relevant in 2019, the countries that are leading 5G are the United States, Japan, China, and South Korea. So we have an office in the US, so supporting our customers in 5G. We have an office in China supporting the Chinese market, and we've decided to actually appoint a reseller in Japan because Japan is really aggressively going after the 5G market.
You've also been granted a research contract for 3.7 million SEK. What can you tell us about this?
Well, Ranplan has a very strong heritage in research. You know, our current product portfolios were born out of a research program, a funded research program. So this contract has been awarded to Ranplan for us to research and develop a data analytics engine to actually predict and manage traffic congestion within smart cities.
Last but not least, what should investors expect now in the coming year?
So we see continued growth in 4G in-building wireless networks. So we see a lot of investment being put into 4G in-building wireless networks, and hence the demand for our solutions. But also going forward, we do see large investments being made into 5G networks. At the moment, there's about 134 5G trial networks in 66 different countries. We expect next year these trials to actually develop into commercial deployments, and hence the need for operators to plan those networks using tools such as our tools from Ranplan.
Thank you very much.
Pleasure.